Hey everybody. I was not expecting to do this. I was supposed to be recording music tonight. But my cold said otherwise, so thought I'd do some commentary. I'm sure someone is out there is going to say, well, I know someone out there is going to say, oh, he's obsessed, he's obsessed. That's hardly the case. I've been working 4 straight days, 2 of which were in a blizzard. I made one comment in a stream in all that time that someone happened to find and said, oh, he's obsessed, he's obsessed, he's obsessed. Meanwhile, someone has been talking about me in streams for 4 straight days. Yes, I hear things. So who's the obsessed one? And for the record, I talked about my bed bugs first. It's part of a stream for educational purposes. Because yes, even the cleanest homes get bed bugs. And in the stream where they started ridiculing my home about the bed bugs, they started talking about when their church got bed bugs. Not saying much for them now, is it? This is going to be pretty haphazard because I wasn't prepared. But that's how it goes. I also have the earphones because I was totally set to record. So I have the sound system now. Anyway. As we all know, several mods left NC's service because she got upset because out of all things to get upset about. Well, it's a much longer story than this, but I'm just going to concentrate on just a couple of points out of it. She became upset because they had run a YouTube channel of their own that she was not involved in, that only supported her, and they had chosen to make a video in support of someone else who had a GoFundMe. This did not hurt her or even affect her in any way. But because she didn't like the sister of the person this involved, the sister of the person involved, she pitched a fit. And she has gone to great lengths to try and discredit the GoFundMe. To try and keep people from donating to it. Now, when I heard about this, my jaw hit the floor. I've heard of some low things. This is among the worst. I'm all for just being skeptical of a GoFundMe if you have questions. God knows that I came from the whole Truthy Magoo saga around the whole thing with Bridget and her vascular disease. But NC has a $20,000 GoFundMe that was supposed to be earmarked for anti-harassment, that was supposed to be used for herself and everyone in the community who needed it. And not only is it not being used for everyone in the community, it's not even being used for anti-harassment. It's going to be used for stopping anyone who files counterclaims against her copyright strikes. And she is going to dare to question anyone else's validity of their GoFundMe? Oh, excuse me, hers was a PayPal, not a GoFundMe. I'm sorry. Excuse my mess up. Girl! Girl! You need Jesus. You need Jesus in your life. And no, Jesus is not a symbol of fear as you assume. Like you assumed in that one live. Jesus wanted all the little children to come to him. Do you think that's a symbol of fear? No. See, sometimes I do remember stuff. I wasn't asleep the whole time. Huh? I'll tell you something else. Not every channel in the world that's not associated with you has to revolve around you. They can cover other things. They don't owe you anything. They want to go do other things. That's their prerogative. Are you paying them? Were you paying them for that support they were giving you? Something tells me that's a no. If you weren't paying them, Then what skin was it off your back? What other GoFundMe they supported? Or was it just that that money wasn't going to go to you for various jacuzzi nonsense? I'm sorry, but when did you become an expert on medical billing? To know exactly where this particular person's medical need might be based on the description from one GoFundMe. When did you become a medical expert to know about this person's medical care based on the description from one GoFundMe? And as I recall, someone threw quite the fit when she thought that Case Discussion and I were discussing her pituitary gland condition in our last chat, which I never did, by the way. So they lost 3 big supporters there, huh? How many is that now? So does that number of subscribers really mean anything? Or is that just a number? And is that just a whole bunch of people who never show? Like with every other channel on the internet. Because you know as well as I do that the subscriber number doesn't matter. It's the people who actually show up that matters. It's the people who do things for you that matter. And you know as well as I do that those 3 mattered. Now, someone just a little bit ago who I made amends with before I left pointed out something you said earlier tonight. You said earlier tonight, just because you make amends with someone doesn't mean you agree with them. Hmm. That's quite the difference from what you were saying when I left, when you claimed that I was all buddy-buddy with everyone I was apologizing to and was totally getting along with everyone and was all buddy-buddy and just like this with everyone. I'm just going to leave that statement right there because you said it. I'm going to leave this statement here too because I said this one. You can't be proud to not be everyone's cup of tea and then turn around and wonder why people are so upset with you. You didn't want to be their cup of tea. Why are you surprised that you're not their cup of tea? Either do something to be their cup of tea that they like, or be happy that you're that terrible person and embrace all the crap that comes with that. Now, which is it? Which do you want? Either be better or stay worse. But don't just sit there and whine about it. Because that's getting old. No one believes it anymore. We know it's just a ploy for sympathy and money. You also said tonight, because I heard this one, that you claimed that all the channels that don't like you want someone to think that they're somebody's victim, as in your victim. Well, I know I'm your victim, but you are constantly saying, what did I ever do to these people? They couldn't take a minute of what I have to take. Girl. I didn't accept an attitude like that. I went and made peace. But you don't actually want peace. You want victimhood. Because victimhood brings super chats. Because if you didn't want victimhood, you'd make peace like I did. The people outside your chat want peace too. They would be willing to work with you for it. But for you to have it, you'd have to accept some responsibility for your own actions. And you never do that. Anytime someone comes on the chat in one of your chats to work things out with your haters, you end up yelling at them and blocking them. And nothing is ever worked out. Nothing is ever worked out. You even doxed the pastor at the last one. Excuse me. I know your chat will see this. Let me just say, you only have the power and influence that your chat lets you have. Without them, you don't have anything. And now we're going to talk about Glenn for a minute. Because I like Glenn. He was my friend. He was my good friend. We had a big snafu there. I handled that because I had to. Because I had to prove that I wasn't going to let anyone stab me in the back. And I'll tell you something else, Cooper. I told Jessica Lynn about that as soon as I did that, and she tore into me on Glenn's behalf. She ripped me a new one. She said she understood why I did it, but that didn't matter because that was something that Natasha would do. Does that sound like the evil person that you describe? I didn't agree with that last statement, but all it did was make me respect her more. And I think the world of her now. Anyway, before this past weekend, on your panel, Glenn lied again and said that we had been texting back and forth during the second nervous breakdown I had, when I had only texted him once to say that you had been sending me screenshots. I don't know exactly why he lied. My guess is to get back in your good graces. But it doesn't matter. I cleared it up in my second interview with Case. It was done. Then his interview with Jessica Lynn happened. I warned him in the comments of that stream that you were going to tear into him because you don't want anyone defending you, even though you really do. And that he wouldn't have me to blame it on because I hadn't said anything. And then I tuned into that stream. I caught it about 15 minutes in. And I saw almost all of it. And he was doing pretty well. A lot better than I expected. Until he made the comment that he was actually proud to be becoming popular. There is nothing wrong with becoming more popular with your YouTube channel. Do I need to remind everybody that the day they found Gabby Petito dead, Natasha Cooper, after covering that all day, got on her Recline channel absolutely giddy about all of the views she received. And all of that popularity. And she got roasted by her quote-unquote haters. And now suddenly, Natasha became upset because Glenn was happy that he had a subscriber count of just over 500. 500. I'm going to remind everybody real quick. When Glenwood was just starting out, Natasha went and got several people after her stream, myself included, and told them all that Glenn had just started his own live stream and gave us all the Addy. And we all went to watch. She and I were two of his very first mods. So as the pyramid scheme of word of mouth goes, she has no one to blame for her subscribers going to him but herself. And it might be Natasha giving him the opportunity to speak on her panel, and Natasha leading the subs there, who got him to 500 subs partially. But it's Glenn's talent who keeps them. But because Glenn didn't kiss the ring hard enough, not only did Natasha get upset, but also, okay, back in the 70s, Jim Jones, you know, the cult leader of the People's Temple in Guyana, one of the ways he kept his flock in line was because they didn't have a jail. Whenever they had a real or imagined offense, was he put the offender in the middle of a circle, and he had the congregation members all come and berate them. And finally, when the person was so beaten down, he came up and forgave them. It kept them compliant. Then, as I was saying, when she got upset, Natasha asked if anyone in the chat wanted to talk to Glenn, and person after person started grilling him. And by the end of it, he looked like a kicked puppy. And of course, Natasha had to get in her kicks. Oh, but by the end, she said that she wasn't going to hold any grudges. How magnanimous of her. When you aren't everyone's cup of tea, either work on being a better person, or accept that you're a horrible person and own everything that comes with it. Of course, no one stood up to support Glenn, and Glenn had done nothing but defend Natasha during his live stream when he interviewed Jessica Lynn, which was what caused all of this. He had done nothing but support Natasha when I had suggested that he come to join save Robbie's community. He had done nothing but stay loyal to all of these people. And they tore him apart. Later, Natasha said, "Well, I just don't want anyone to gain any subs from my channels." Why? You certainly had no issue gaining subs from everyone else's channels. This is YouTube. That's the natural ebb and flow of things. Your channel isn't behind some retaining wall. People are adults. They're going to go where they want. No, what she's afraid of is that she's going to piss off more people. They're going to leave. The people who are loyal to those people are going to go with them. Because she can't stop pissing people off. Because she's not everybody's cup of tea. And she doesn't want to become a good cup of tea. People really can be part of more than one's community. They really can. Jessica Lynn feels horrible for even talking to Glenn because of what Natasha and the chat did to him. Does that sound like this evil person? Multiple people in her chat begged me to reach out to him. And I did. He hasn't answered yet. I told him, I will let everything in the past go and let it be in the past if you're willing to do the same. And I will be your friend unconditionally because you need one. All those people in her chat and she will turn on him in a moment's notice at her word. because they already did. To get them to turn on me, she had to convince them for a week. To get them to turn on him, it took 2 hours. If he or anyone else from over there is looking to get away from all of that toxicity, I can help you get away from it. It'll just take some work. That's all. I guess that's my commentary debut. Maybe I'll do some more. It depends. Head cults suck.